Hi, this is Kpop Notes and welcome back to my channel. January has already started as a pretty good year that has set me already some expectations of how 2023 will be. Surprisingly, this month was characterized by a sense of a more mature and almost laid-back sound, leaning towards R&B and hip-hop genres, which I don't complain at all cause they're one of my favorite. I wonder if this is part of the Y2K concept that since last year it has started to introduce more and more into the K-pop scene, by bringing back that 90s R&B sound that was particular to the decade. I'm introducing this new format of the monthly selection, so at first I'm gonna be reviewing some title tracks and at the end of the video I'm gonna present you some memorable B-sides. However, I've already talked too much, so without further ado, let's get to the video. This is the most 9 song that he could have ever sung. It literally screams him, even though not producing it this time. This may be my favorite one from the Underground Idol project, a really airy song that gives you an almost breezy and chill vibe that matches perfectly the weather and the mood of an early January season. Not to mention that the way he sung the track was just a perfect delivery as he managed to convey precisely the emotions of a love that has bloomed from the ice. A love that, by the hand of his warm voice, has melted that gelic cage that trapped the significant other's heart. Also, it's a completely R&B song, it just couldn't miss. From the story, to the MV, to the song, to Nine's voice, everything about it is perfection. 10 out of 10. Not gonna lie, I've been a little concerned about their music direction since Kingdom. I feel like their past comebacks have been kind of all over the place regarding their title tracks. If we leave Scream out of the equation, Puzzle seems kind of a mixture of Teardrop and Trauma, leaving their house sound behind and going into a more dance retro scenario. At first it was just a good song, however it grew on me, especially the chorus which became really addicting, and because of that, I can say that it was one of the standouts of the month. Also, despite the spy concept being overdone by lots of boy groups, there's just some sort of sexiness that only SF9 can present, that makes it feel still pleasant and not boring. Overall a good song. 8.4 out of 10. Followed by their big success last year, I was curious what they were gonna be bringing to the table, and it managed to still maintain cohesive to what they exposed during their first EP. Just like Ditto went perfect with the mood of December by carrying a more nostalgic line, this one brought a more upbeat track that served as a perfect comeback during this month, when the cold is starting to fade, making way to a brand new year. As I listened to it more, it just became more and more addicting, escalating really quick on my list. Not gonna talk much about the MV cause honestly I didn't understand a fuck, but I'm in love with their fashion. Definitely a good follow-up to their discography, but I wonder how much time they'll manage to keep their sound before they get irrelevant in a market full of new stands that lose interest faster and faster. 9.2 out of 10. When they debuted as a subunit, I was thankful that they managed to create a total different sound from the one they had in Astro. Despite being sexy, it was more of a chic concept. However, their last comeback left me confused as they weren't going to the chic side I thought they were aiming for, but rather a whole sexy concept. I wasn't the biggest fan of the song as it just seemed really mid. However, it allowed me to understand what they were going for this time, and I can say that this time I did enjoy Madness. They kind of replicated the same formula, using a distinctive top melody carried by a predominant synth. However, the introduction of a strong bass line helped the song give so much groove to it and being more enjoyable overall, so this feels as the perfect midpoint of being sexy and chic. The MV was also much prettier this time. I'm a sucker for this sort of flowery lab experiment concept. 8.5 out of 10. Smartphone was just not my cup of tea. It felt like Smiley 2.0, but when the teasers for this dropped I immediately knew I was gonna love this, and I was not wrong. This just hit precisely on my taste. The guitar progression along the song is just exquisite, and Yena's tone suits so much this darker R&B sound, not to mention that her looks during the MV also suit this so much. I'm curious how her next comeback will be. Is she gonna keep this route or will she create a midpoint between it and her cutesy sound? If you ask me, I think her sound has the potential to turn kind of like wood sound, a mixture of rock, which has already presented in songs like Look to You and R&B, evidently shown in her most recent comeback. 8.9 out of 10. Let's take a short break and review some releases in Speedrun. Now let's get back to the video. You know something, let's not talk about the lyrics, let's focus on the sound. I really tried to get into Step Back, however it just never clicked on me, but this one was different. Despite the experimentation of the song, I can at least see the relation that this track still keeps with their last one. Not quite sure if knowing that this type of sound will be their signature sound is something good or not, because as far as I've noticed, it just can become a hit or miss to most of the listeners. But as I said, I really enjoyed this song. It's almost alluring because of the instrumental and the vocal sample that keeps repeating throughout the whole song, as if it kept you on a trance. The pre-chorus is definitely my favorite part, and I can say that the MV is my least favorite. It is as the editor just discovered how to do slow-mo shots and proud of it, decided to apply it 20 times on the MV. It just made me dizzy and made it look uncreative and cheap. However, this new SM sound for now was a hit for me. 8.8 out of 10. I know everybody was expecting the Feels 2.0 or at least something similar, so I can understand why some people disliked it. At first I wasn't that convinced about the chorus, it sounded kind of plain. However, as I kept listening to it, it just started to make more and more sense to the point where I got it. This isn't Twice's best song, but I think it works perfect being a pre-release as it sets the tone to its next comeback, introducing a different sound, a different image and a different concept so that the change doesn't feel abrupt, and because of that, I'm really excited about what they'll be presenting us. Despite everything, I really enjoyed it. It's catchy and the production and the vocals are always neat and clean, so you cannot expect less from that. 8.7 out of 10. Listen, I don't care if they're not a K-pop group, if all of their members are Japanese or if they sing in English, as most of the people who follow them are K-pop stans, and K-pop overall has already become in a publicitary market more than in the content itself, so let me talk. If Mascara slapped, this just punched me directly in the face. This song is just so good it doesn't have the right to be this good, and I feel that big part of what makes this song being a hit, are the girls itself. The confidence they portray and the swag they exude can be felt in the way they deliver their lines. All of them have so different and unique voices. The vocalists have diverse colors while singing, the rappers attach to different techniques and flows and even get into singing choruses. Everyone just feels like all-rounder idols that can manage to express the song in different ways. And the MV, whoa, it may be one of my favorite ones ever. Probably they're the group who executed the Y2K concept the best. It is as if the MV was extracted straight from Pinterest. From the fashion, to the visual effects to the attitude, it's just a flawless delivery. Not gonna lie, this may already be one of my favorite songs from the year. The girls deserve all they're achieving because they're absolutely full of talent. 1000 out of 10. I thought they were already redeeming themselves of Good Boy Gone Bad, however it seems like it's not the case. When the song started I got really excited as it sounded like a fresh tropical house track that brought something different to what they were recently presenting, which honestly wasn't my cup of tea. However, when the chorus hit, it did felt like a sugar rush ride, with the exception that instead of feeling that excitement of the drop, is as if the ride just went straight in a line. At the end it does recover that excitement, but I don't know if I'm open to listen to the rest of the song just to listen that final chorus. I honestly preferred more their initial sound and I wished I liked this as others did, but I just don't understand quite well the direction they're being driven to, but I hope it grows on me. 7.5 out of 10. Okay, this was a surprise. If you have checked out their B-sides you may have noticed that overall they do have a cohesive sound in which retro, funky, sparkly and chic sounds predominate. However, regarding their title tracks they're honestly not their best presentation card as they seem to be all over the place. I mean, how did we go from Love Ade to this in just one comeback? However, leaving that detail aside, this song grew on me incredibly fast. At first, while listening the album I honestly preferred any other song on it than the title track, but giving it another chance, it reminded me kind of to a second-gen sound, especially because of the brass sounds and the sort of goofy flow of the rap after the choruses. It's a pretty basic track overall, there's not much going on, however it brings you this nostalgia element and simple landscape that makes you groove to the track. 8.6 out of 10. Too much talk. Let's get to the B-sides. So that was it for the video. Let me know in the comments which was your favorite release of the month. As always I'll be happy to read you. Bye. Blue